Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am excited. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love, about as much as I love fragrances, a good discount. So imagine my joy when So Avant-Garde reached out to me to partner with them for this video. So thank you to So Avant-Garde. So Avant-Garde has niche and luxury fragrances and samples too, which I love, so you can try things out before you buy. And they have a nice range of brands that I really like. So they kindly gifted me a number of fragrances that we're going to talk about today. I went ahead and purchased some of my own, and I have a giveaway. Woo, a nice giveaway thanks to the generosity of So Avant-Garde. So we'll talk about all of that in this video. I first and foremost want to share with you that I have a very generous discount code of Veronica 20 with So Avant-Garde. So I will link both the website and share the discount code in the description box and in the pinned comment so that you can shop to your heart's delight and pick out some fragrances that you've been thinking about and or get samples from the site to try out. So yay. Let me talk a little bit about some of the brands that are on the website that I really love. I'm looking down at the website here. One of my all-time favorites. They have a really wide range of Tiziana, Terenzi fragrances. They have Mizensir, and Mikolev, Nishane, Imaginary Authors, Goldfield and Banks, Fragrance Dubois, Electimus, BDK Parfums, Carner Barcelona, Comptoir Sud Pacifique, and many more. Liquid Imaginaires, and even Veronique Gabai, which is a fragrance house that I've been interested for quite a while. And so I went ahead and purchased one that I'm going to talk with you about. So in this video, we're going to feature about 7 fragrances that you can check out on So Avant-Garde that I think are pretty darn fabulous. So let's jump into the video. So when So Avant-Garde reached out to partner with me, one of the questions they had was about the fragrances that I would like to try that they could gift me. And I have to say, I've been really interested in the house of Mizensir. I've tried Chere and I have tried For Your Love. So we hear a lot about those 2 fragrances. They're both absolutely fabulous fragrances. But I was particularly interested in Ambre Magique and thought that I would likely enjoy this fragrance based on the note structure and the reviews. I do like the bottles on these fragrances, the simplicity of the square shape, which is always hard to go wrong, classy. You have the lettering stamped into the top, and then you have the plaque on the front. So Mizensir, Ambre Magique, created by Alberto Marias. So I've tested this a few times now and done a full day wear. And I have to say, this is a really gorgeous fragrance. So are the other 2 that I mentioned, but we don't hear a lot about Ambre Magique. This is very much, for me, like a deep, sensual vanilla with a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of sprightliness from a mandarin orange note, and lots of a soft amber base with some powderiness. Did I say powder already? If so, I'll say it again. This definitely has a little bit of a powder touch. And I think that it's one that's really easy for ladies to wear, but I could absolutely see, for example, my husband wearing this and him rocking it as a really sexy fragrance. This is one that is light enough to be worn during the day, even though you get the impression that it's more heavy and ambery from the note structure, and it can absolutely take you into the evening. It's not a super loud projecting fragrance. It's a little bit sort of in the middle. You get a nice projecting scent bubble around you without going into the next room with it and invading other people's space. So in that sense, it's a polite, sweet, sensual, ambery, vanilla or vanilla amber fragrance with some spices. I found this to also be very long lasting. I sprayed it on in the morning and it took me through dinner time, and I was really happy with that without being obnoxious. Sometimes fragrances that last that long can be overpowering and up in people's faces. So this kept its composure, if you will, and its structure, and it lasted a long time without being obnoxious and cloying and overwhelming. So in that sense, I think this is a very, very wearable amber fragrance. Like I said, heavy on the vanilla with a little bit of citrus to brighten up the edges of it, if you will, and just the right hint of spiciness to keep it interesting without making it a spicy fragrance. And the kind of amber I think you can wear easily in the summertime, particularly as it starts to cool down in the evenings, into the nighttime and into the fall. So gorgeous fragrance, really excited to have this one in my collection. So Ambre Magique was gifted to me by So Avant-Garde, as were the next 2. And here's one that I have had my eye on, and it is super expensive. So yay for a 20% discount code that folks can use if they're interested in this. It is from Fragrance Dubois, and this is Ood Jean Intense. So I talked about this in the Luxe Summer Vacation, smelling rich and expensive, opulent video that I recently posted. I will link that down below. And here's the thumbnail for that. This is one that I mentioned and said that it was on the way in PR. So here's the gorgeous bottle. And this is a fragrance that very much is about that summer, living your best life kind of vibe, heavy on the ylang-ylang note, the yellow floral in general, some white florals in there as well. Has a nice touch of vanilla, a nice touch of musk, a very soft woodiness in the base that's sort of barely detectable. Just think of that as kind of like bolstering the fragrance up and adding some depth to it rather than overtaking the gorgeous florals in here. Because this fragrance is very much about the yellow floral supported by everything else. So the musk, the vanilla, the white florals, the light woodiness are all like background supporting actors, whereas the yellow florals are front and center in this. And it's just one of those fragrances, those scents that you really want in your summer arsenal or something like it. But this one is just gorgeous, and I'm happy to have it in my collection, and particularly happy to extend to you that 20% discount on this super expensive fragrance. So the last fragrance that was gifted to me by the brand, and we'll get into the giveaway and the other fragrances that I purchased on my own and that I recommend, is Tiziana Terenzi Telea. So I have been very interested in the Sea Stars collection and very hesitant to pay those full retail prices. So again, as I always say, do not pay full retail price for these fragrances. Use that discount code, you all, and get a pretty significant discount on these fragrances. But the bottles on these are really quite cool. If you are into marine life or like Sea Stars, it drapes over the bottle. This is the blue one called Talaya, and the reason that it looks like it's in that font, if I remember the story correctly, this is the name of the boat owned by the perfumer Paolo Terenzi. And I would also advise checking into Atlantide, which is pronounced actually Atlantide. And that's a gorgeous green tuberose bomb of a fragrance for summer. I've got my eye on that one too. And I've also got my eye on the one that's in like the coral bottle called Orza. They're all just quite pretty. So Talaya is the one that I'm fortunate to be gifted with and super grateful for that. This is equal parts woody, like a beautiful deep woodiness that isn't too heavy for summer, by the way. I just want to be clear about that. Fruitiness and some floral touches in here. There's a pear note. There's some white florals. There's a gorgeous, what I would call like a very baby oud. This is not like an in-your-face, knock you out, smack you around Middle Eastern oud at all. It's a very soft, subtle, delicate oud that, again, sort of wraps the fragrance to give it some depth. Here's the interesting thing about this fragrance. So when I wore this recently, because I had to do a full day wear to tell you all about this, is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I put it on. I didn't spray a whole lot. I think I did maybe in the neighborhood of like 5 or 6 sprays on this. Went out with my husband and he kept saying, "What is that smell?" And I was thinking, oh my gosh, do I stink? So of course I'm like, it depends. What smell are you talking about? So I wanted to know, are we talking about a good smell? Or are we talking about a stinky smell? Because if it's a stinky smell, I'm going to say it's something outside, right? And he was like, it smells really good. And I was like, babe, it's Telea. Because when the box came from So Avant-Garde, we opened these fragrances and unwrapped them together and tried them out and liked them and started talking about them. But he hadn't smelled it on me proper, if you will, until I wore it that day. And he was like, here's what he said, without remembering what the bottle looked like, or the fact that it's part of the Sea Stars collection. I was shocked to hear him say, it smells like something seaside. And I was shocked by that because, from the note structure, there isn't anything in here that would give you a seaside impression, but I can understand what he means. So, and it's not like the light sort of marine and or ozonic types of accords. There's something else in here that's about like the richness of sea water, ocean water, or something like that, that this reminds you of. And again, as a reminder, he was not remembering what the bottle looked like or that it's associated with the ocean or marine or anything like that at all. So this is a super strong fragrance. You don't need to spray a lot of this, and it's gonna last you the whole day. Really beautiful. I'm a huge, huge fan of anything this color, anything turquoise or the sort of baby blue or whatever, for all year round and particularly in the summer. So enjoy this, and would also say check out Atlantide. Like I said, absolutely gorgeous tuberose green, in your face, smell fantastic. fragrance. That is gorgeous. And that one comes in a white bottle also with the sea star draped over it. So then also sold on So Avant-Garde and not on sale anywhere. So this is a good place to go get, y'all, go get your discount on with the absolutely gorgeous Blanche Bed from Liquid Imaginaires, Liquidi Imaginaire, however you say the name of the house. This bottle here, I just can't explain to you enough how much I love this fragrance. So let me say this, the bottle retails for $280. So with 20% off, it brings it down to $224, which in my opinion, for a full size bottle like this, for something as fabulous as this, it's worth every penny at that point. When I tell you that I find this fragrance to be magical, I kid you not. This has nothing to do with So Avant-Garde sponsoring this video, has nothing to do with anything other than when I sampled this fragrance a while back, I fell in complete love with it. I didn't buy it from So Avant-Garde, but it's available there. And I wish I had known that so that I could get that level of discount for this. This is like one of the creamiest, most delicious, musky, tuberose, milky fragrances like ever on all of the planet. So this is just so delicious. I can't get enough of it and I find it intoxicating, and I'll just leave it at that. Definitely check out Blanche Bed. Well, I will say this just to be fair. There are people who absolutely are repulsed by this fragrance, but there are also people that can't get enough. Like they love it and they've put enormous dents in this fragrance. I mean, I've started to suck down the juice just a little bit here on this one. I can't say enough good things about this fragrance. So Blanche Bed is absolutely worth checking out on So Avant-Garde with that discount. So then friends, I'm going to tell you about the 2 fragrances that I purchased, and then we're going to talk about that giveaway, which you want to stick around for. So Veronique Gabai is a fragrance house that I've been interested in for the better part of maybe like a year and a half when I first kind of discovered them on Instagram. Here are what the bottles look like. I mean, when you talk about a gorgeously designed bottle with this gold wraparound and the beautiful sort of luxe cap with the G on it, this is beautiful, aesthetically speaking. The lines are gorgeous, the curvatures are nice, all of that. The fragrances are a little bit pricier. They're not outrageous like some of your other niche fragrances. You get this full, what is this, an 85 ml bottle for $260. And when you apply that discount code, then you're talking about $208. It's worth it at the $260, and at $208, it's, you know, even better. So I'm gonna have y'all friends lean in really close because I want to talk to you about sexy Garrigue. This fragrance here, let me say this. If you're a girly girl who wants very, very feminine fragrances, no, not for you. However, for those of you that don't mind a fragrance that's a little more adventurous, maybe leaning in the unisex direction or squarely there, and you like those kind of fragrances that you can wear and your significant other can rock to and you'll smell totally different in them, sexy Garrigue is absolutely one to try out. So for me, this fragrance is about just a few things. It's about vanilla. It's about amber. It's about a nice honey, soft, subtle honey. I'm not talking about your like screaming animalic, just dipped your hand in like a honeycomb or in a jar of honey kind of honey. I'm talking about like a supporting actor in a really refined way. And in the far background, some patchouli to give it just a hint of earthiness and just a hint of character. But by and large, a vanilla, amber, soft honey fragrance more than anything else. It smells really, really great on skin. This is one that you cannot try just on, you know, a blotter strip. You're going to do yourself a disservice. It's going to smell okay, but you're going to be like, next. But when you put it on skin, you need it there. This is, to me, a little bit drier, woodier version of something along the lines of Naxos from Xerjoff, if you're familiar with that fragrance. So Naxos is a very deep, strong, honey, aromatic, tobacco fragrance. This is like the more polite cousin of that, if you will. And Naxos is outstanding, by the way. My husband and I joke around about that being like the money fragrance. He puts that on and I'm like, you're going to be winning big deals today, babe. But this one here is very much wearable by him and by me. And I think an absolutely delicious fragrance. Wow. Yeah, this is just super nice. And then stay tuned for information on Sur la Plage, which I'll be talking about in another video. But this is This is available on the So Avant-Garde website. Get your 20% off. So the other fragrance that I purchased is a fragrance that I have to just say I slept on. So someone sent me a decant of this. We're talking about Gris Charnel from BDK. I tried the decant and I thought, that's nice. It's a little bit like much. I don't know. So here again is the difference between trying something on paper versus on your skin friends. It's really, really important to try on skin. I remember trying this out and going, I'm not entirely sure what all the hype is about. It's all right, but I don't like really need a full size bottle. It's okay. So I went ahead and wore this to bed one night, just out of the blue, going, let me see once again what Gris Charnel is about. I got in the bed and my husband went berserk. What is that? That smells really, really good. And he kept sniffing and sniffing. So when he likes something, I know that it's really particularly good on me. And I have to say, I thought so too. And the thing that happens on skin that's very different than trying on paper, this smells a little bit like a soft fig, definitely some good sandalwood. And there's almost like a slightly masculine lean on paper. On skin, however, there's something about the sweetness of this fragrance that comes out to play along with that sandalwood. You have to absolutely like sandalwood. If you're not into that, Gris Charnel is not going to be for you. The fig is not that strong. I've had some strong fig fragrances where the fig is almost so deep and strong that it kind of ruins it for me. But I went ahead after wearing this baby for a night and put in my order for Sexy Garrigue and Gris Charnel. Happy to have a full bottle of this, particularly since it's hubby approved. I got a really picky husband when it comes to fragrances. I still wear what I want, of course, but naturally, I prefer to purchase fragrances that I know he's going to also enjoy on me, since we spend a lot of time together during the day. We work from home together. So of course, it's natural that I want him to enjoy my fragrance. And I really, like I said, fell in love with this the night that I wore it. I do think there's just this really sweet background note that I think makes the sandalwood creamy. Like, people talk about sandalwood being creamy. It's particularly creamy in here. I also forgot to mention there's a nice tea note. It's not like an acrid tea note or super strong, but it's definitely a player in the fragrance along with that soft fig. But more than anything, it's a sweet sandalwood, a sweet, creamy sandalwood fragrance. Really glad that I finally tried again and changed my mind about. So now let's get into that giveaway. And I said to So Avant-Garde, send me a fragrance that you think people would enjoy for the summer. I didn't tell them what to send me. And they put in the box one of my favorite fragrances. And I thought this was meant to be. They sent me Ce Soir from BDK, also like Gris Charnel, as a giveaway. So this is my giveaway item. And I'll tell you a little bit about the rules for that in just a second. But here's the thing, you all, I have my own full-size bottle of Ce Soir and have had it for a bit. And I love this fragrance. I talked about this in my Fruity Fragrances video, that it was tied with Burberry Her EDT as like the best fruity floral fragrance recommendation that I have. This is just divine. Some people can't get with this fragrance. It's just not for them, but it is absolutely for me. And if you're into fruity florals, I would absolutely suggest at least trying this fragrance out. Sample it if nothing else. I would say that like the feature note in here is this beautiful, juicy quince note. If you're familiar with quince, it's like a deep, juicy, it's deep and juicy. It's deep and really juicy. There's pear, there's some pepper in this fragrance to give it, I mean, it's a complex fragrance. It's not just like a young, girly, fruity floral. This is a grown-up floral. It's got a deep, like berry type of sensation to it, a type of feel to it that this is the grown and sexy summer fruity floral. And it's not like your Bath and Body Works, fruity floral kinds of fragrances. This is for the grown, mature, and sexy. Beautiful quince, pear, ginger. There's a spiciness to this fragrance that I think is really lovely also. And it has a sophisticated background woodiness that supports this fragrance, bolsters it, and makes it a substantial fragrance that last a pretty decent amount of time. Maybe not the very longest lasting, but it will take you through a good half a day, like 4 to 6 hours. And then after that, it becomes like a skin scent, but easy to reapply and carry a decant. One of my favorite fruity floral fragrances, Ce Soir, absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about this giveaway. You know, I don't like a whole lot of complicated giveaway rules. I don't need you to write a letter to the president. I don't need you to contact the Pope. I don't need you to send a hot air balloon in the sky and a pigeon, you know, from New York to Los Angeles with a message. You don't have to do all of that. I assume you're following me here, and if you're not, please follow me. And I request that you follow So Avant-Garde on Instagram and have a US address for mailing purposes, please. And I will also ask, if you're interested in this fragrance, that you put in the comments below as its own standalone message. Like, leave me all the comments you want. I love your comments. But just for clarity, nothing else in the comment. Put down in there, send me pas ce soir. That's how it is spelled. Pas ce soir. Send me pas ce soir. So what I'll do is put all of those names in like a randomizer and choose one and post it to my community tab. Let me be really clear, because I know sometimes people do giveaways and then the people don't respond, and it just kind of ruins it for other people that are interested. I will post it on my community page, the winner, and if I don't hear from that person within 48 hours, I'm going to the next one on the list, because I got to get this beauty out to someone to wear. Summer's going to go by quickly and somebody really needs to enjoy this fragrance. So again, follow So Avant-Garde on Instagram and put in the comments below, send me pas ce soir. I assume you are following me, so I'm going to take that for granted. And if you're not, please follow me too. All right, you all, Veronica 20 at So Avant-Garde. Check out this fabulous online seller of niche and luxury fragrances. Lots of fantastic brands to choose from. The link is in the description box below. Get your discount on, my friends, for some of these beautiful fragrances. Get your summer best life fragrance on. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.